We talked in the last couple of weeks about the work going on in Washington, D.C., and the president's goals to clean up that city, make it safe again, make it beautiful again. And in so doing, they have taken essentially control of the police force and in many ways really taken control of management of Washington, D.C. itself. It seems that they've likely circumvented the improper management that has been used up to now by people like the mayor, the mayor's office, the administrations, and so forth. The talk now is, where else might this kind of work be needed? And of course, one of the places in the country that has been very concerning for now a number of years is Chicago, Illinois. Chicago, as many know, has been very unsafe to the point of sometimes in the course of a weekend, hundreds of people might be shot and many of those killed by violence in that city. For what reason? Well, for robberies and hate crimes and other things. But clearly, if they can clean up Washington, as we had said a couple of weeks ago, as other people in other cities begin to see the success that we're going to talk more about in going on in Washington, they may wish to see these same things done in their cities as well, even though the people that run those cities, or in fact the people that run the states, may not wish that to happen. They don't want to be shown to have allowed folks in safety and the populace to be put at risk because of their inaction. And JB Pritzker seems to be one of those that might be in the target here as we go forward. JB Pritzker is governor of Illinois, and as we've discussed, Chicago has long been one of those areas where safety seems to have been an afterthought, not a priority for that city. Trump, in the last few days, had some interesting comments regarding Chicago and Pritzker. Let's hear what he had to say.
For Pritzker, if he'd call me up and say, I have a problem, can you help me fix it? I would be so happy to do it. I don't love, not that I don't have the right to do anything I want to do. I'm the president of the United States. If I think our country's in danger, and it is in danger in these cities, I can do it. No problem going in and solving, his difficulties. But it would be nice if they'd call and they'd say, would you do it? And
Well, why would he not call and say, could we get some help? Well, it'd be because it would show that he and the folks running Chicago, and in fact, in some ways running the state, have not been doing perhaps their job. So in a very interesting video interview, Pritzker had some choice words to share, but then the cameraman wisely pans to a particular building in Chicago and perhaps to put a poignant cap on Pritzker's comments. Let's listen.
About the progress that we're making. I know that I live rent-free in the president's head, and I wish he would spend some time in Chicago so that he could see what a lovely city we have.
Governor, quick follow-up. What do you do if the National Guard is activated and comes here?
Well, it appears that Trump may have actually spent some time in Chicago, and there's one of his buildings overlooking these comments from Pritzker. In the past couple of months, we've done some research on the U.S. aid scandal. And one of the things that we found was that a number of people in Pritzker's family and associated with Pritzker seem to be part of these NGOs that may have been receiving money from U.S. aid. And this was brought out in a couple of things. Let's take a look here. Let's see if we can pull this up. Let's take a look. Bear with me for a moment. Here's a list of many of the recipients, the NGOs receiving money from U.S. aid, and look at how many seem to be associated with Pritzker. In fact, there seems to be about 68 NGOs where the leaders or members of the board, or in fact executives, have some connection, if not a direct family connection, then some connection to Pritzker and his family. That is obviously troubling certainly from a money standpoint. Now, what about the condition of Chicago itself? Well, if we go back and we look at what has been said about Chicago in previous years, we'll find some real concerning trends. Here's something that Trump said to back up his comments on video. A really deadly weekend in Chicago. 6 dead, 27 hurt in crime sprees all over the city. Panic-stricken Governor Pritzker says the crime is under control when, in fact, it is just the opposite. He's an incompetent governor who should call me for help. Mayor Johnson is no better. Make Chicago great again. Well, what are the facts behind the safety in Chicago? Well, in some cases, some may have forgotten just how bad this has been and for how long. This is an article that was written in Forbes back in 2016 and updated in 2021. And it compares the murders, the homicides in Chicago, and the level of those murders compared to wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. So literally, more people were dying in Chicago than were dying in these international conflicts. How many? Well, here's an infographic that shows it. So at the top, you can see those killed in Iraq, and God bless their souls, and those killed in Afghanistan. Down at the bottom, you see Chicago that is actually in the same time frame greater than the sum of those two conflicts. So imagine how bad this must be for folks to be this out of control. So we do expect that we will see some very interesting doings from Trump and from his admin as we continue to see, hopefully, progress with regard to the safety and security of Chicago. And do we expect that this will be taken on to other cities? Have a funny feeling it might be. But again, it's probably because of the city's residents looking at what's happening and saying, you know what? I would like my town, my neighborhood, my home, my family to be in greater safety than they are today. So if this is what we have to go through, perhaps so be it.